It's time for class again, and today we're going to learn how to make smoothies and juices with Michael. There's two things that I want to say before we get started. And first is the importance of nutrient density in the foods that you're eating or drinking, because the primary purpose for having a class like this is to help you to understand that the food that you feed yourself with really does have an influence on the health of your body. And not only today, but tomorrow, next year, and the year after that, and into your elder years. So the more deposits of good nutrients, foods, and supplements that you can put in your body starting at whatever age you are, then the more healthy you're going to be as you get older. So that's really the bottom line of why we're doing what we're doing. So we're going to have fun. We're going to start making some juices and we're going to taste them, those who are here in the class. So I welcome those of you who are here, and I hope that you'll really enjoy it. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael, and he's going to introduce us to the first juice that he has put together for us.
Thank you, Carol. The whole idea behind juicing, and the reason why I'm a big fan of juicing, is we're trying to concentrate the nutrients in order to give the body the raw materials it needs to be healthy. So a lot of the foods that we eat, because of the farming practices that are being used today, are lacking in these nutrients. And the great thing about juicing and making smoothies is that you can concentrate these nutrients that we're lacking in our body. There's a lot of trace minerals and minerals that are just not in our foods anymore. So by juicing, not only is it convenient and a quick way to prepare something healthy for the body, but you're including a lot of these minerals and trace minerals, vitamins that are lacking in our diet, in the standard American diet. So to start with, we want to make sure that these smoothies taste good also, because of course we want to enjoy how we're nourishing our bodies. So we're going to start with a smoothie that includes a very high nutrient density food, spinach. And one of the great things is now we're able to measure the nutrient densities in foods and have a chart where we can follow exactly how we can combine these foods to make them taste good and also nourish the body. So we're starting with a smoothie that has a bit of a tropical flavor to it, and we're going to add the high nutrient density spinach. The spinach is actually the most nutrient dense of the foods, and then we're going to add these other foods to enhance the flavor and also include some vitamins and minerals. So we're going to add some mango.
And it's a little frozen, right, Michael?
Yes, the mango is frozen because by freezing some of the fruits you can enjoy a cold drink, but also you can also make them into a smoothie, a thicker, like a puree, and some people enjoy the texture that way. Now the bananas are frozen, and the reason why is because when you freeze the bananas, you break down the cell membrane of the banana, and that allows the banana to make it a lot creamier. So it's really good to, you get your bananas, you wait till they're ripe, and then you cut them up and freeze them. And in the freezing process, what you're doing is you're taking the cell membrane of the banana, you're expanding it, and it cracks and breaks, and so now you can make it very, very smooth. And then we'll add some freshly squeezed orange juice. And now, might have to add a little bit of water. Let me just, actually, let me just put a tad of water in there. Now we're going to blend away, and it's very good to use a Vitamix or a Blendtec, a blender that has a big motor that can make it very smooth and creamy. a little rich, so I'm just going to add a little more water to it. But it looks like we have a nice blend in here. So by breaking down the food, you're making it easier to be assimilated into the body. Here we go. Okay, we're ready to go. If you look at the nutrient density chart, it gives you a great idea of just overall what foods you can incorporate into your drinks. And you can see what nutrient density they have. And this is great because it gives you some kind of a barometer and a guideline to follow in order to experiment and try different foods.
So I'm going to try this smoothie, Michael. Thank you for the smoothie number 1. I have never drunk a green smoothie in my life. I like all of the ingredients that we made the smoothie with to eat, to chew, but I've never had them this way, all mixed together and mixed into a juice. So here we go. That is really good. Honestly, that's good. Touché. Well done. Very good.
As you get into doing these more and more, then your palate will adapt to being able to make them even more nutrient dense. So in this case, we only added 2 cups of spinach, but you might be able to add 2 cups of spinach and maybe 1 cup of kale, or add some other very healthy green leafy vegetables in there. Make it a little stronger and get more nutrient density out of it. But for starters, this is a great way to go, where you can really taste the fruit. It's very, very, very pleasing, and then you can underneath add the green leafy vegetables.
So what would you recommend as a serving size? If you were going to make this for like a breakfast, to go with breakfast?
Well, the nice thing about the
snack.
smoothie is you can drink it to complement your breakfast, so it'll add more nutrient density to your breakfast. But in addition, you can also, if you want to just make it a meal in itself, you can also make a protein powder and either mix it and combine it with the smoothie to make it more nutrient dense, to make it like a meal replacement.
Which I think is what we're doing with one of our drinks. We're adding
Yes.
protein powder to one of the drinks. So we'll show you how to do that.
So that'll be our next. By making a smoothie, what you're doing is you're not removing the fiber. So the fiber is going to slow down that sugar absorption and the transit time of the nutrients. So you'll absorb more nutrients, and the fiber will buffer the sugar.
Okay.
But it's really important to also be aware that if you are a person that has sugar problems, that you would alter with the nutrient density chart, you would alter which foods you would make your smoothies with. So for example, if you're type 2 diabetic, then what you might want to do is only use the fruits that are very low in sugar, like blueberries and strawberries, and then add the green leafy vegetables, as opposed to using bananas, mangoes. Those are more higher sugar type fruits, so you wouldn't recommend those. So you always have to factor in the biochemical individuality of the person, and then of course if you were to take your smoothie with a breakfast where you have more, say where you're eating more food, so it's going to slow down the absorption of those sugars, especially if they're raw foods.
And would you say mix it up? Like, don't use the same fruits each time? Just to
Absolutely,
keep it-
you always want to be rotating your foods. It's
Okay.
much better for the body. To get into the habit of making this delicious smoothie that we just had every morning would not be a wise choice. You
Okay.
always want to be rotating your foods.
Okay.
So you want to rotate your smoothie ingredients, and that's another great thing of having a list which gives you a guideline where you can look at it and say, okay, well this is high nutrient density, like today I use kale, tomorrow I use spinach, and then you can go down and look at some of the other high nutrient density like carrots, cherries, blueberries, bok choy. You can make a smoothie with bok choy.
Would that be raw bok choy or
Yeah,
can
you can
steam
use
it?
absolutely. You can use it raw, or you can steam it and then add it to the smoothie also.
Okay.
So you can do both. There's no, raw foods are great, but there's no rule that says that you can't steam vegetables and put them in the smoothie as well, because some people that are having a lot of digestive problems might have problems with raw foods. So for them, they can make a smoothie with steamed vegetables, or they can cook vegetables and also puree them into a soup. So the smoothie can also be a soup as well. It doesn't always have to be. But the nice thing about the smoothie is that it's a very quick way and a great way to assimilate high nutrient density into the body in a very quick, practical way. So that's the advantage. So it's very fast to make, and you get high nutrient density. In today's world, that's really a good way to go. The less sweetener in a smoothie, the healthier it's going to be. However, in some cases, you may want to add some sweetener to make it taste a little better. And so we have several choices. We have raw honey. We have dates, which are great for texture and sweetening. Maple syrup and liquid stevia, another good choice. Sometimes, if the smoothie is a little tart or a little bitter from the greens, you can add some of these sweeteners. And the more natural of them all would be one of these two, either the raw honey or the dates. And the same thing with milk. We were talking about milks earlier. If you have an issue with cow's milk, if you're allergic to cow's milk, well, you have a lot of other choices. Almond milk, there's brown rice milk, coconut milk. You have a lot of other choices, hazelnut milk, to put into the smoothie, and it makes it a little richer and creamier as well. So it's another good way to go.